The homeless crisis is exploding in this Florida city, and one restaurant owner says she's got no choice but to fight back. We're talking customers getting harassed, employees being threatened, and people using her outside patio as a toilet right in the middle of the dinner crowd. She's begged the city for help, but nothing's changing. In this video, I'll show you why this one woman is now taking on City Hall all by herself, why this Florida city could end up looking like San Francisco if it doesn't get serious, and my 10-step plan that could actually eliminate homelessness in Florida. Let's jump in. Ronica Whaley owns She's So Crispy, a popular Asian fusion spot in downtown St. Petersburg, Florida. That's where I live. Now, you've probably seen her on the Food Network, and I've actually eaten at her restaurant myself, and I gotta say, it's fantastic food, cool atmosphere, and a great vibe. People love it, and it gets great reviews. She opened a new location a few months ago, right across from Williams Park, a spot that's been a homeless hangout for years. And it didn't take long for trouble to start.
Ronica Whaley shares this video showing a man urinating on a table while people are sitting and says it's typical of the near daily behavior on her block.
Like, I get it, these are adults. They're adults that want to do what they want, and I get that, so let's provide, as the law says, a place for them to flourish safely and securely that is better for both sides.
She says that's her reasoning behind filing an injunction request with the city to take advantage of Florida's new law that bans sleeping and camping in public places like Williams Park across the street.
She says homeless people are walking up to her customers and staff, screaming at them, threatening violence, and even grabbing food and drinks off the tables. And it's not a one-time thing. It's happening over and over again. But ever since she filed that lawsuit, something worse started happening.
She says she and her staff are being attacked online and threatened over the phone.
They've called my 18-year-old staff with threats to all of us and to us up.
Diana Martinez is a cook along with her daughter and says she's the one who took that call.
They called and said that they were going to come and everybody in the building.
Ronica's not the only one asking for help. Back in June, residents, business owners, and neighborhood leaders packed a St. Pete City Council meeting to say what everybody already knows. The homeless problem downtown is getting worse, and people are scared. Ronica was there, and she didn't hold back. It's just aggressive, it's dangerous, it's dirty. The sanitary aspect of it is just awful, she told them. She said she had no idea how bad it really was until she opened her new spot across from Williams Park. All the other local restaurant owners warned me, but you don't truly get it until you're in the middle of it. But she also thinks the homeless are being ignored and wants the city to step in and help them.
We have to make a space for our people to thrive, and they're not thriving down here because they don't have any resources.
Part of the problem? Downtown's population has exploded. In 2010, there were about 3,000 condo units. Now, there's nearly 20,000, according to Jason Mathis, CEO of the St. Petersburg Downtown Partnership. That's a lot more people living, eating, and walking in the same space where the homeless crisis is getting worse. Karen Carmichael, who runs the St. Petersburg Downtown Neighborhood Association, told the council there's a serious mental health and substance abuse problem on the streets. She said, we see it every day. People living on the sidewalks or in temporary hotel rooms acting out in ways that show they need serious help. And kids on school field trips, they're walking past people yelling, cursing, or behaving in ways that are downright frightening. Now, here's the crazy part. This shouldn't even be happening. Florida already passed a no camping law in October 2024. It's simple. No sleeping or camping on public property. The law says if someone's camped out, they need to be offered shelter or services, and if they refuse, they can be cited or arrested. It also gives counties the option to create a designated camping area, but it has to have clean water, bathrooms, security, and mental health services. Now, Pinellas County, they already said they're not doing that.
Advocates for homeless services say the root cause is underfunding supportive housing.
Public defecation and littering and all those things, if we need to enforce them. If we have those ordinances, sure, we need to enforce them. But we do need to make sure that we have the resources that we need for the residents in our community.
And St. Pete police say they made more than 250 arrests this year so far for people sleeping in public or in the right-of-way. But according to Ronica, it hasn't made a dent in the problem. And here's the key thing. Under this new law, if the city isn't enforcing it, the only way to get it enforced is to sue. That's exactly why she's doing this. This isn't some publicity stunt. She's already gone to the city council and begged for help. Nothing changed. So now she's taken the one action the law actually gives her, suing the city itself to protect her customers, her employees, and her business, and to get the homeless the help they need. Now listen, we don't have to guess if being soft on the homeless problem works. California already showed us how that story ends, and it's not pretty. Since 2019, California has spent $24 billion on homelessness, and after all that money, the homeless population still went up by 30,000 people, hitting about 181,000. That's basically an entire city of people living on sidewalks, in parks, and under bridges. What did all that money buy? Tents, drug kits, clean needles, and safe sleeping villages where people could camp with security, bathrooms, and meals. So if you're a drug addict, why would you ever want to leave? I'm blown away that nobody thought this would backfire. 3 years ago, San Francisco was spending $61,000 per tent per year to run those sites. That's more than double the cost of renting a one-bedroom apartment in the city. It became a giant taxpayer money pit that didn't reduce homelessness one bit, but it did create a whole new layer of government jobs that now depend on the problem never going away. At the same time, California stopped arresting people for theft and drug use. The message was clear: do whatever you want and nothing's gonna happen. So more people stayed on the streets because there was no reason to leave. The fallout's been brutal. In San Francisco, real estate has crashed. One downtown building that sold for $62 million in 2016 just went for $6.5 million. A 90% drop. And 47% of stores have closed downtown since 2019. Families are moving out, tax revenue's shrinking, and the streets are less safe. So St. Pete's got a choice right now: enforce the laws we already have and fix this before it gets out of control, or keep looking the other way and watch ourselves turn into San Francisco's sequel. And let's be honest, it's already starting to feel like the opening act. And here's the scary thing about running a business, especially a small one. You can't afford to have bad days. One slow weekend might not seem like much, but in the restaurant business, that can be the difference between paying rent or falling behind. And rent in downtown St. Pete, it ain't cheap. Add that to the cost of staff, utilities, food, insurance, permits. There's not a lot of cushion. Margins are razor thin, and there's no safety net when things slow down. So for Ronica and She's So Crispy, this isn't just about her own paycheck. She's got employees who depend on her to keep the doors open. Cooks, servers, bartenders, people who have bills, kids, rent of their own. Every customer that decides not to come back because they don't feel safe outside the restaurant isn't just a lost sale. It's a ripple effect that hits every single person on her payroll. The stats are brutal. More than 60% of new restaurants fail within the first 3 years. And that's in normal circumstances, without having to deal with people screaming at your customers, threatening your staff, or passing out at your front door. If the city keeps ignoring the problem, it's not just her business that's at risk. It's the jobs and paychecks of everybody working there. And the first thing that needs to happen is politicians need to start being honest and stop using soft liberal language like calling them the unhoused. They want you to believe most of the homeless population are single moms who lost their jobs, and if they could only have a chance, they could get back on their feet. That's a lie. Majority of the homeless people on the streets have drinking or drug problems, or are dealing with serious mental health issues. They need professional help, not a sidewalk to sleep on, and politicians to think if we make them more comfortable, they'll all magically get jobs and move away. That's not gonna happen. Letting this continue is dangerous for homeless, it's dangerous for tax-paying citizens, and the community in general. People shouldn't have to step over homeless people passed out on sidewalks to get to work, or run the other way when they see somebody using a city sidewalk for a toilet. And if all that isn't bad enough, right next door in Hillsborough County, where Tampa is, a judge just blew up the county's roadside panhandling ban, calling it unconstitutional. This comes straight out of a Yahoo News story. Here's the example they gave. There's a guy named Stephen Udis who's been arrested 7 times this year for panhandling. The first couple of times, he got found guilty, spent a few nights in jail, and walked right back out to do the same thing again. Made a cardboard sign asking for a job, then walked between cars at red lights collecting dollar bills from drivers. Then, on Monday morning in South Tampa, he got arrested again. But this time, his public defender tried something different. Attorney Jake Pinkney told the judge the whole panhandling ban was unconstitutional. He argued it was supposed to be about public safety, but was really just being used to arrest homeless people when there was no actual safety threat. Pinckney said stopping someone from holding a sign or asking for help on a public street is blocking their First Amendment right to free speech. And on July 28th, Judge Jeffrey Rich agreed. Just like that, more than 40 pending panhandling cases got tossed, including 4 against Udis. The article says neither Pinckney nor Hillsborough County Public Defender Lisa McLean responded for a request for comment. But the message is clear. Panhandling in the streets is now considered protected speech in Hillsborough, and that means you can expect a lot more of it. These soft on crime policies are going to bring a lot more homeless into Hillsborough County. And here's the part that really gets me. Our politicians always seem to have time to make a big scene on TV over illegal alien criminals getting deported. They'll even hop on a plane to go meet them who've already been sent out of the country. But when it comes to showing up for homeless veterans living right in their own cities, the very cities they were elected to represent, suddenly they're too busy. Here's a crazy idea. Help American citizens first. Fix our roads, keep our streets safe, take care of the people who actually live here. Then, and only then, we can talk about helping everybody else. And homeless people are American citizens. Yeah, a lot of them have made bad choices, but they still deserve a real shot at getting back on their feet. Now, this will blow your mind. In 2023, our federal government sent over $71 billion to foreign governments. That's your tax money. We're taxed to death, and instead of fixing our own problems, we're bankrolling just about every other country on earth. Meanwhile, the Fed spends only about $10 billion on homelessness here at home. Big difference, right? If we kept that $71 billion here and added it to the $10 billion we're already spending on homelessness, that's $81 billion total. Split that between all 50 states, and you get $1.62 billion per state to actually get people off the streets. That's more than enough to fix this problem if, and this is a big if, it's spent right with accountability. So here's the Florida plan, a clear, enforceable 10-step approach that actually moves people off the streets into help and keeps them from coming right back. Step 1, no more street camping. This one's gonna cost $82 million. This one's simple. No more setting up camp on the streets. If police or outreach workers see somebody sleeping outside, they immediately offer them a real place to go. A shelter bed, detox, or mental health care, right there on the spot. If they say no and stay put, they get moved and cited. Do it again, you're in front of a judge. The $82 million pays for more cops, outreach teams, transport vans, and the cost of actually enforcing this every single day. Step 2, 24/7 stabilization centers. These are round-the-clock drop-off spots for cops and medics so people don't get dumped back onto sidewalks or sent to overcrowded ERs. Inside, detox beds, mental health care, doctors, medication, and case managers. The goal? At least 600 beds across Florida. This money builds them, staffs them, and keeps them running all day, every day. No excuses to leave anybody on the street. Step 3, more psych beds and court-ordered treatment. Some people simply can't take care of themselves. They're a danger to themselves or others. This money reopens state psychiatric hospitals, hires mental health staff, and creates step-down housing so people aren't discharged straight back to a tent. Judges are going to have the authority to order treatment so people get real help instead of a sidewalk to sleep on. Step 4, court-mandated rehab that works. If you break the no camping law or keep committing street crimes, you get a choice, treatment or jail. Skip treatment, you get a warrant for your arrest. Finish treatment, charges drop. This money funds more judges, public defenders, transportation, drug testing, and real rehab spots. So when we say treatment, we mean it and we enforce it. Step 5, work first transitional campuses. These are sober-only living spaces, clean dorms, lockers, showers, meals, and an on-site ID office to help people get a valid government ID. Because without that, you can't get a job or rent a place. But here's the deal, you have to work. No lounging around all day. Everybody joins paid work crews doing city cleanup, park maintenance, or temp jobs with local businesses. Stay 30 to 90 days, save money, leave with your ID and a job lead. Fail a drug or alcohol test, you're out and back to court. Step 6, emergency shelter surge. We build more emergency shelter beds so the no camping rule works from day one. These aren't tents. They're safe, clean, modular buildings with curfews, security, and rules so people inside and outside stay safe. Step 7, permanent housing for the truly unable to work. Some people will never be able to work again, the severely disabled, mentally ill, or elderly. This money's for permanent supportive housing for them, period. Everyone else goes through work first or treatment first. No more giving away apartments to people who just want to party in them. Step 8, stop intersection panhandling. No more walking between cars at red lights. We ban panhandling in traffic and fine drivers $150 if they hand out cash from their windows. That money funds public education, traffic enforcement, and outreach to the panhandler, shelter, work, or treatment. It's safer for everybody and cuts off the street cash that fuels addiction. Step 9, clean and safe crews. This funds daily cleanup crews that move in after outreach offers services. They pressure wash sidewalks, pick up needles, and haul away trash so encampments don't pop right back up. Step 10, we keep it honest. We make a live public dashboard showing how many shelter beds are open so officers know where to send people. Every week, we publish the numbers, how many people came off the streets, went into treatment, started working, or went back to crime. If a program's not getting results, we cut the funding and fix it. No hiding failure. Now, here's the best part. This plan only takes $818 million to run for a year. Florida would still have $802 million left over. That's almost another full year's budget sitting there ready to go. We could double down on more beds, speed up construction, hire more staff, or tackle the areas that need it most. Bottom line, this works. It's paid for, and we'd still have money left over. That's how you solve a crisis instead of babysitting it forever. This isn't about not caring for people. It's about making sure our cities are safe, clean, and worth the taxes we pay. California is the warning sign. They spent billions, but never changed the rules or held anybody accountable. The result? More tents, more crime, and more people avoiding downtown completely. And this isn't just a St. Pete problem, it's happening in big cities all over Florida and across the country. And you know what? It's okay to say that we want to feel safe where we live. It's okay to expect our politicians to actually enforce the law and be tough on crime. And if you live in St. Pete, go grab dinner at She's So Crispy and let Ronica know you support her. She's not just standing up for her own business, she's standing up for every tax-paying citizen in Florida and even for the homeless. Because enforcing the law and offering real help go hand in hand. If she wins this lawsuit, it could set a huge precedent. Cities would have to enforce the laws on the books and protect the people who pay the bills. And really, I think we can all agree on two simple things. Citizens should be protected and homeless people should get the help they need. Both matter. But public safety for taxpayers has to come first. Somewhere along the way, compassion in this country started focusing more on criminals than on victims. That's backwards, and it needs to change. And look, St. Pete's my city. I'm downtown shooting this video right now. When my friends or family visit, I take them downtown for dinner, we walk the pier, and catch an incredible sunset. This is a great city, but like any big city, you're gonna see homeless people. Just pay attention to your surroundings and make smart choices. Don't be scared to come here. This problem isn't out of control just yet, but if nothing gets done, it could be in a few years. And one thing I will say, avoid Williams Park for now. I hate even saying that because law-abiding people should be able to enjoy the parks they pay for without being harassed. That should be the first area the city cleans up. And this lawsuit, it's a good first step in the right direction. Now here's something Florida's doing right. Click here to learn why Governor Ron DeSantis just declared war on these Florida cities. They've been raking in your property tax dollars and blowing them like it's monopoly money for years. We're talking missing millions and wild spending sprees that'll make your jaw drop. You won't believe it. Click here and I'll see you there.